How's it going, everybody? So 88 minutes, Al Pacino. Absolutely don't know why, it popped in my head to watch it. Somebody might have said something about it but that should have been a movie I should have saw 2 or 3 Donnie Darkos ago. But why did the Lord say no? Because you don't know what you're looking at. Only recently did we realize what we need to be looking for is the 10-2 or the 210. 210, Michael, is something to like 210. That's still October 2nd. That's just how they write it over there. There's a million ways. I'm going to go ahead and write all the numbers down that come to any combination of October 2nd. When I say numbers, I mean geometry numbers. That way I can just key something in and see if it's a match. Instead of scrolling, I can just boots on the ground. I'm hearing, and I remember that because somebody that I talk about a lot said it in a meeting that was on YouTube. And I was like, that person doesn't talk like that. That person was told to say that because it had nothing to do with it's an expression that person just doesn't use. And now I'm hearing it all over TV and have been hearing it all over TV. Boots on the ground. In gematria, that comes to something. In the famous words of Joe Namath, I'll guarantee it. I don't know what I was talking about. I do. I was talking about how it's time. Oh, the things we needed to gematria. But Olympics, rigged? Of course. Is every event rigged? Nah. But knowing how big the Olympics is to them and knowing how everything has to have an esoteric meaning, like the gymnast that was claiming the illness of a different nature, where it was more of an emotional, of the strain and the stress of having to compete. And I mean, you get all the way there to the Olympics and you're like, oh, woe is me. I just can't. It's too much. It's like a teacher on the last day of school going, I just can't do this. It's too stressful. That's not what you do on the last day of school. In my case, that's what you would do during the year or your first day back or something. You've hit the wall. You're like, nope, I've outgrown this. Too old for this. You don't say that on the last day of school. You don't get to the Olympics and then go, oh, just too stressed. So that was extremely rigged. Then how she went on to come back and perform one deal and win it, and oh, whatever. Those things are served up to them on a silver platter. So we're getting into this J and B and Jamie with a Jockin and Boaz. I'm like, what? The pillars? I mean, like, boom. She texted that to me. She said some of her stuff, I look for held for review and nothing's up. So remember, that's what happened last time. To filter it. Oh no. But so let's just get rolling with it. AWTR came back on. Now I got to go through their video. I'm very glad that I just saw that, or glad they said something, because I'm just extremely fascinated. I can't remember what it was about their video. I think I put it in my own comments. I mean, in my own prep, like I emailed it to myself, but I don't think I put where or why, but we'll see. It's been a while since my last comment. You know, I thought about it, and 10-2 is also 331 backwards. 90 days remaining versus the 90th day of the year. Okay, I like that. That means 331 is 275 remaining, and it's day 90. In other countries, they would write it as 31-3. So there's your 313 again. Wow, AWTR. That's strong. That's very strong, sir. Very strong. Or ma'am. I shouldn't say that it's a guy. That could be a lady. And my email is trae455@hotmail.com. If you ever want to talk, I'd love to talk to you. Just fascinated by what you do, and we seek and we find. And we seek and we find, some people be like, some of it I don't quite understand. It's a little out there. You know, you just kind of got to go with everything. You just go with it and see where it lands. I mean, George Bergoglio was born 313. And then, of course, I think that's the Pope. That y'all have taught me that, because y'all been bringing his name up, the J and B, the 10-2. So he was born on 313. So you see how it's all about October 2nd. Now, there's an October 2nd that lands on a solar eclipse in 2024, I think it is. I'll tell you why I think it's 2022. Because you have to have that before the abomination of desolation. And the way these portal back and forth to each other, to me, the solar eclipse would be more on the abomination of desolation than it would be when he goes down. Because in the movie Apocalypto, they stopped the killing at the solar eclipse. That the gods have said that enough blood has been spilled. That's a fascinating movie, man. It's all subtitles, and you won't get bored watching that movie. So, yeah. And the way that 4/20/2023 portals back, transfer portals back to when Trump said, "I've got it." On October 2nd, 465 days. And what is it you have? Well, a corona is the circle around a solar eclipse, the sun that barely seeps through the outer edges, like a pizza crust. The Matrix came out on 331, and Madrid is a variant of Latin matrix, meaning water stream. Yeah, your heartbeat of America earthquake scenario, I think, is just absolutely mind-bending, spot on. And I'll tell you something else you did, AWTR. You allowed me to realize and understand a better way to explain the archway. I had done a rotten job of explaining the archway, and I do it every time. Let me pause and build this. Let's go over a few things. Selena Gomez, or no, I'm sorry, Selena Kyle, Catwoman in the movie, when they propped her name up there and said her birthday was September 21st. That is the third progression of the number 37. And it was AWTR that showed us that 37 is the 12th prime number, and 12 is the number for the church. So that's a really big deal. Now, AWTR did a deal on, I'm going to have to rewatch this so I could, I'll watch all three of his again and just make sure that I know exactly what I want to show y'all, because this video is going to get too long and I've got stuff I need to do. There's Archie Manning, who is now like the #1 player in the world. He's 18, so I don't mind talking about him. He's born in 2004. All it says is that he's 18 years old. I cannot get a birthday. Now, this is, I guess the son of Peyton Manning. The Manning family, they refer to themselves as Caesars, making Archie his grandfather and Peyton and Eli his uncles. Oh, so this is Cooper's son. Cooper Manning. He is Cooper's oldest son. Okay. So the fact that his name is Arch, and what AWTR reminded us is that the Golden Gate in St. Louis, or the Archway in St. Louis, I'm sorry, the Archway in St. Louis, Wikipedia. Gateway Arch was completed on October 28th, 1965, 56 years ago. That was when it was completed. And that, of course, is my second wife's birthday. October 28th, it's Bill Gates' birthday. And it is the Archways' birthday. Now, when you color code, October 28th is the 301 day of the year. That's how many days you are into the 365 days. March 1st is, of course, 301, and that it's 3/01 is a way to write it. And now these two color coded. March 25th. I'm trying to think of something popped in my head. Sorry. March 25th is 3/25. And November 21st is day 325. So I color coded them in the 325 and the 301. Now, the October 28th transfer portals over to March 25th. November 21st, transfer portals over to March 1st. So if you were to color code that, then these two would have the same color, and these two would have the same color. So you see how they make an X. And if I were to transfer portal for you, when you add the 37 days, remember we got, where are we at? I'm sorry. We need to go to the transfer portal date. So we get the snow full moon coming up. When you subtract it, you get December 4th, which was the total solar eclipse. These are things that I tried when I started thinking about the movie Janice, well, the movie Tenet, along with the month. I remember when we got close to January, I started thinking about the god Janus sees backwards and forwards. And I was like, well, the movie Tenet was the number 10 backwards and forwards. What if you combine the two? Because Dr. Pepper was running a transfer portal commercial. So the Lord allowed that, all of that to weave in my head and start giving this stuff a shot. And 37 plus 37 is 74. And that goes back to the Archway date. And if you move it forward, it will go forward to March 25th, as you can see. And I believe it's 25 days. Is it 55 or 54? None of them. It's 50. So you add 50 days, you get March 1st. You subtract 50 days, you get November 21st. And November 21st is the 325th day of the year for March 25th. So they are all interwoven with each other. These portal back and forth to each other. They're in the same row. These portal back and forth to each other. They're in the same row. Now this ends on the 26th, and this ends on day 326. They don't match it. There's nothing that matches anymore. It is a 25-day, what I called it, if y'all remember, an archway or an X. And then AWTR told us that the Gateway Arch in St. Louis was finished on October 28th. I'm like, well, no wonder I was calling it an archway. Okay. And Candy is a C and a Y, which is a 3 and 25, and it portals over to March 25th. So that's when it really started getting deep. And Selena Kyle is the next progression of 37s, by the way. When you go to the next 37, it's 37 plus 37 is 74, plus another 37 is 111. And that'll take you to September 21st, which was Selena Kyle's birthday. When you put it forward, it's May Day. So Bruce Wayne's love interest, when you portal back, so a potential love interest when you portal forward. Only Michael knows what I'm talking about there. I don't mean to be so cryptic. But that's the archway. And so if you get past October 2nd and nothing happens, then I would suggest to look at October 26th, which is the beginning of the Halloween festival, because, or anytime we get into this archway, you got to start looking. Am I looking this year? I'm just not. I'm too focused on October 2nd, and I don't think I'm going to focus on anything else. I'm just going to have to go with my gut. And I totally love and respect y'all looking at other stuff because it keeps us on our toes. And we like checks and balances. Know what I mean? So anyway, that's the archway. That's how I look at years. I mean, months. I look at everything as like a, I guess I need to bring that out because I screwed it up. In my mind, it's like a big horseshoe, but when you get toward the end of the year, the horseshoe will connect. But I look at it more as a big horseshoe. And obviously it's not perfect because it's on Excel. But that's how I look at a calendar in my head. That's how I picture a calendar in my brain. about pretty much like that. It's not perfectly symmetrical. So I threw in there the archway dates and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, let's get rolling with tonight's video. So AWTR goes on to say, iPet Goat used a song called The Stream, which features the sound of a beating heart. And that's why the Gateway Arch was built on the Mississippi River. 1028 is another portal date. Absolutely. It's the archway date, as we're just now showing you. So AWTR and myself are understanding this, but we're not even talking about the same thing. But notice it's still fitting together. The Mississippi has been known to flow forwards and backwards. Think about that. It's a matrix flowing forwards and backwards through the gateway, which opens on 1028. Missouri is also known as the mother of the West. So there's more birthing symbolism. Well, I can tell you that Ms. October 28th birthed my stepdaughter, whose birthday is 319 times 1998, and you've got the 138 for Donald Trump, you've got the 88, and you've got the 86ing of the 88, all fused together. If you want to talk about birthing, she certainly birthed something there. So if Trump doesn't go down on October 2nd, that October 2nd is just something vibrational that they point to because of something vibrational in their world with numbers and dates, but that when it points to the 28 days later is actually when he would go down. I think he goes down on October 2nd. And then what happens toward the end of the month is the beginning of World War III. Symbolically saying that's the day the world will end. In other words, life as we know it will be no more. Tsunamis, blackouts, so on and so forth. So thank you, AWTR Productions. You should all be subscribed for sure. I need all of y'all to just go watch those last 3 videos he did. Then I won't have to go over it with you. His videos are not long. They are not like mine. 1 minute, 36 seconds. Well, when you punch it, it's always a second less. 1 minute, 35 seconds, 3 minutes even, and 101. And when he said 210th anniversary, I realized 210 is another way to say October 2nd. It's the second day of the 10th month. Straight up. And notice the time on AWTR's video, when you look at it, it says 102. And over here, you've got 210 backwards. So hopefully that's just a little Holy Spirit synchronicity. We'll take it. I mean, my friend Justin pointed out, your video ended at 133.03. I said, well, when you click it, it's 133.02. But I said, yeah. And I said, if you remember, you know, I got up plenty of times. That's the time that the Lord ordained that video would end from before the foundation of the world. I don't time my videos out. I don't have a start stop timer when I get up and go use it. I've already stopped this thing once. So a clock like that wouldn't help me a bit stop something on the exact second that I want it to. But I would never play games with y'all like that ever. That's just not me. So don't be freaked out by anything you see with my numbers. I'm not freaked out by any numbers I see. That's just synchronicity. Now, when I see it in movies, or when I see it on these gigantic YouTube sites, I then fall more in line with Plan That Way, or The Ghost in the Machine manipulates views, things like that. I don't know why my nose is getting a little stuffy. It's been clear all evening. Coming off a cold, the lungs of, I did a place called the Salt Room today, where you breathe salt air for 45 minutes. It was salt all over my clothes because I put the clothes where this blower comes out of, and yeah, you just shake it, it comes off. Then I went and got on the power plate again. So I've really done, and I've taken that herb, I've really done a lot to break up my chest. So I should be sounding a lot better. Christian Schultz said, and this is me in the tan, Revelation 21:20. Well, we shouldn't do that. Let's finish these comments first. See how I get? I'm like really ADHD spastic. Sorry, I'm going to repost this comment in case you can't see it. Did you see Chelsea Hannah was in a hospital a few days ago, as well as Heather McDonald? Collapsed, fractured head later. A few days later, USA died. I posted a few comments about Chelsea Christ. Don't know if you saw it. I did, yeah. We have Chelsea Handler and Heather McDonald. Chelsea Christ on January 30th, 2022. Chelsea Handler canceled her shows on the 4th and 5th. Heather McDonald fractured skull. And yeah, horrific, said Susan Washington. I appreciate you reporting that. I don't know the significance of it, but you do. So just keep your eye on stuff and keep us posted. Super Bowl betting odds, Christian says, one better would win $120,000 $120,000 if Aaron Donald is Super Bowl MVP. Wow. While the two quarterbacks, Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow, are betting favorites to win Super Bowl MVP, one better put down a significant wager on a defensive star. According to BetMGM, one customer bet $7,500 on the Los Angeles Rams defensive line to win Super Bowl MVP plus 1,600 at plus $1,600. If Donald wins the award, the bettor would take home a whopping 120. Well, 120 is the Old Testament number for Adam in Strong's Concordance, and Aaron Donald, obviously Donald Trump. So we like what he's saying here. If that happens, it's just outstanding. Let me go blow my nose. Hang on. Actually, hawk a loogie, not blow my nose. Sometimes my nose will drain in the back of my throat, and I just don't like swallowing it. So that's just super interesting. Thank you, Christian. Super Bowl MVP odds for Donald are currently at 120, 0, or 1,200, 12 for the church. At BetMGM, Donald is only behind Stafford and Burrow at plus 135, plus 225. And the Rams receiver Cooper Kupp is plus 600. Okay. He said Burrow, the Bengals' second quarterback, has received the most action, 185, 18.5%, 30% of the money, but Donald, seven-time All-Pro defensive, is not far behind. Donald has received. There's that 137 that AWTR likes. Donald has received 13.7. AWTR's video points out that like 137. And then before I sign off, I will buzz through them really quickly, his videos, see if I can find exactly what I found fascinating. But it might have been the Archway thing that we've already covered. And something to do with that 137. I don't know. And of the bets, 17.6. So again, 7.6 is the number for Adam in Strong's Concordance, New Testament. So on both Christians, we got a 120 for Adam. Remember, the first Batman was Adam West. And we got a 76 for Adam. There's not a lot of numbers in here. And we have both numbers for Adam. Now, Eve is 2332. There's your 332 code. And That's Old Testament. And then Eve is 2096 in the New Testament. However, it's fairly rare for defensive player to win. Yep, true. Unless he's just sacking everybody and stuffing the run and sacking and, you know, happened only in 9 Super Bowls. Oh, one was by the Bucs DB with two interceptions. I remember that. By comparison, a quarterback has won the MVP a whopping 31 times. The most recent defensive player to win. Now we like Aaron Donald because of the name Donald. I'd probably rank him first, but Joe Burrow, oof, he seems to be the new Tom Brady. And I tell you, he looks like Macaulay Culkin, who was in that movie with Donald Trump. I said that before anybody had ever really noticed it, and then everybody started noticing it. Joe Burrow looks like Macaulay Culkin. So, anywhoski, and in the world of cloning, you just never know. Home Alone. Home Alone, Donald Trump, and Macaulay Culkin. I should have just said Home Alone, Donald Trump. So, you know, there's just all kind of things to bounce off of in their world. And you just don't know what's in our heads and what's something pertinent that they're actually manipulating. The most recent defensive player to win Super Bowl MVP is also playing in this game, Von Miller. Miller, now with the Rams, had 6 tackles and 2.5 sacks as a member of the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 50. Good stuff, my friend. Something I just thought of. If we use Alexa commercial and go from Wednesday to Monday, maybe it's February 16th, February 21st. Oh, absolutely. There ain't no doubt about that. 216 to 221. That's 12/21 equals 6 days or 144 hours. I like it. The day after would be a palindrome day of 222, 20222, or 2022, which is 3 2s and 3 2s. What is a palindrome date? Palindrome days happen when days can be read the same way backwards and forwards. For instance, February 20, 2022, or 220, 20, or 22022. You get a 22022. So just to give y'all a visual of what he's talking about. Christian said, it's a different Christian. This is just Christian. Not sure if you're aware of these Trump 666 gematria calculations. Don Trump 666, short version of the first name, original surname. Absolutely. That's what sold us on, that's what sold me that he was the Antichrist, because I was watching all these videos by shaking my head. Well, it was by Angel White. And it was another one that sold me by Logic Before Authority. And but I was like, but what about that 666? And I was watching somebody's video. I don't know who it was. And they showed me that Don Trump came to 666. And I was like, well, that kind of seals it, doesn't it? And also, when you key in SIX, 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 Christian, you get Donald John Trump or Donald J. Trump. I think it's Donald. I think you get the whole name. So SIX, SIX, SIX. And it's right there. Donald John Drumpf. It's right there in your, so it's the number of a man in both directions. Well, that's impossible. Now it's the Drumpf name that fulfills that Bible prophecy of the 666. And then he changed his name to Trump to fulfill the other Bible prophecy of John 5:43 of being here in his own name, because a trump is a horn and a horn is a trump. And I'm pretty sure I got that off of a YouTube site. I don't think I got any of that on my own. So it's hardly important, because the Holy Spirit gives you everything either through something or puts it in your head yourself. Take no pride in any of it. So I need to copy and paste these and put these into an email, because this is, it's fascinating the way all these come up like this. Donald J. Trump, that way 666. That's just good stuff, my friend. Hang on. So even in my email, I made sure I put Christian's name there just so I'd always remember it anytime I revert back to it. But look at the views or the searches. 5389. 53 is my next marriage number. 89 is Candy's next marriage number. Remember, her marriage to me was 88. So that's just the ghost in the machine. Just jack me around a little bit. Now I want you to look at something else with the ghost in the machine. Look at right below the 5389, you get the 4550. That's me and Candy combined. She's 1028 times 1973. Try it again. 10 times 28 times 1973 times me, 7 times 6 times 1961. Look at the 4550. That's the first 4 digits of she and I. And there's the 4550 right below the 53 and the 89. And because my first marriage, me and my first wife combined was a 51. So my next progression would be 52. My third marriage would be 53. And then Candy and her husband, he was October 10, 1971. So see the 87, then I was her 88. Then her next progression would be 89. That's just a language the Lord showed me. It's not anything you get out of any occult books, nothing. It's just numerical language. The Lord started speaking to me when I was a child, and it's just progressed. And so you get the 5389 right above the 4550. I mean, I don't think I'm supposed to marry her, but I don't put anything past the Lord's plan. Just don't put anything past it. And what else? What else did I see up there? Oh, at the very top, you see anyway, I'm not gonna get into it. That's just, but there's your 666. And at 1197 is where they match in the Jewish number, the Jewish gematria, which is 119 for Donald, and then a number for cleansing. 7, the biblical number for cleansing. Well, I looked at what was below, the 4550, and why it was below Donald Trump. So I looked up Whirlpool Corporation, November 11th, 11/11 in 1911. So there's your 111, the 911. So you got 9/11 right there, and next to it, it says 110 years ago. So when Trump goes down on October 2nd, it's 110 years from 1911 or 1/9/11. It's just, I don't know. It just kind of never ends, does it? But it's 110 years ago from 1911. How bizarre. That's a bad song. But yeah, it's when it was founded on 11/11. 1/9/11, 110 years ago. And it sat right below Donald John Trump. Ghost in the Machine does all that. Or the Holy Spirit does that. There could be more than one type of spirit in the computer. What do you think led y'all to me? In other words, what brought us together? Holy Spirit did. How? Well, through the technology. So our ghost in the machine trumps their ghost in the machine 1,000 times out of 1,000. 10,000 times out of 1,000. Tenfold. So I don't know. It's just interesting. We like interesting. Anyway, thank you, Christian. That was outstanding. Just mind-blowing, mind-boggling. Oh, here's the other one about the fractured skull. Got it. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure I gave everything a thumbs up. A lot of love. I read them all. Good stuff. Y'all are the best. I'm not gonna lie. I just obviously couldn't do this without y'all. The content y'all bring just adds and adds and adds and adds and adds. Christian said Revelation 2:10, the onyx, the ruby. I already read that, didn't I? Yeah. I copied and pasted and sent it to me. Revelation 20. Yeah, I remember reading that. You said 22 last chapter of Revelation, 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. And I said, it was Doug Williams was in Super Bowl 22. Last two verses of Revelation 20 and 21 of chapter 22, which would be 2:21, 2022. Anyway, so I was watching something. They showed the watches of Ian Fleming's James Bond. I was watching this little documentary about Ian Fleming. By the way, Ian Fleming's dad was named Valentine. Ian Fleming's dad was named Valentine. If you're new, of course.
Here's a summary from Wikipedia. Birth and family. Ian Lancaster Fleming was born on the 28th of May 1908 at 27 Green Street. His mother was Evelyn Eve Fleming, née Rose, and his father was Valentine Fleming, the Member of Parliament for Henley from 1910 to 1917.
Member of Parliament. So these are high-level members of Mystery Babylon. And her name is Eve. Also Rose, the middle name of my stepdaughter. And his father was Valentine. And of course, James Bond, the 007 is for the 7 kings, 5 have fallen, and 1 is, and 1 is not yet coming. When he cometh, the must continue with short space. And the 8th is of the 7. That's all out of Revelation chapter 17, verses 10 and 11. Good stuff. So, wow. Just never gets old, does it? So I was watching this documentary on Ian Fleming, and it showed the watches. And there's your, now you could say that's just your club membership compass square type deal. But the fact that it's on 10 and 2, there's a 10 there and there's a 2 there. Or it's 10-10, which is basically 101, and it's 101 AM right now. If it's a 101 combination, you know, that's your Jockin and Boaz also. So because it's like the two pillars are the one and the one, and then up at the very top is like a sun god, or the circle. Now I did it my way, was on the Olympics a while ago, and that of course is the song for Trump or Satan. Either way, they did it their way. They didn't do it God's way, did it their own way, acting as if they had their own free will. Of course they did not. Anyway, 10-2 again, you know. Watch Bronx beat Maureen, Katy Perry, Saturday Night Live. Oh, that was something I wanted to watch. So I'll get to that later. It's Katy Perry on an SNL skit from a long time
My brother
ago.
got me this ring when he was stationed overseas.
Okay, let's stop it again. Thank you. Watch Hidden in Plain Sight. 1028 is Gateway Portal, Facebook, Meta on YouTube. Yeah, that's AWTR's video. So this is the one I wanted us to watch. Let me pause and go through it real quick. You get into Meta, Mark Zuckerberg. Now, the last two digits of Meta are 201 for event 201. Your first three make a 135. Anyway, Mark Zuckerberg does this thing on 1028. Facebook changing its name to Meta. Okay. October 28, 1955 was when Bill Gates was born. Of course, this is Candy's birthday. I'm the Candy Man. Donald Trump's the Candy Man. He's the Candy Man they do the movies about, or the songs about. Was that just to mock me because I'm the Candy Man? I don't know. There's a lot of correlations between me and Trump. Yeah, I've shown you all that many times, especially his number. Month times day times year, 163464. My second and third wife numbers progression, as my first wife was 62848. Next wife be 63, next wife be 64. 1 WON 63 FOR 64. Do I marry the same person in the 64 or somebody else? Or do I get married at all? Or is it just my marriage as the bride of Christ? I'll take that. That's all I need. October 28th, 1965. That's the Gateway Arch completed. Now, this is what was interesting. That's right. That's why I wanted to show you all this. So, and she will be this year 49 years old. Right? Yeah. She'll be 49. My second wife will be 49. Now, if you go from, but not including, well, excuse me. Yeah, not including the last date. Not including one of them. Count one of them, don't count the other. Either or. December 31st to October 28th of this year, it's 666 days. Hurricane Ida is so powerful, it made the Mississippi River flow backwards. That's on August 29th. Yeah. So August 29th, go August times 29th times 1973. That is my son's wife's number, and that's my son's wife's birthday. So you went from my last wife's birthday to my son's, and they were born in the same year. My son married a woman. My wife was much younger than me, and my son married a woman, well, much older than him. So, well, they're 10 years apart. And I was 12 years apart, and my son was born when I was 22. So it's just interesting that you got both birthdays on this video. It's fascinating. The force of the land upheaval 15 miles north of New Madrid created Real Foot Lake, drowned the inhabitants of the Indian village, turned the river against itself, and it started to flow backwards. How did Madrid get its name? It's Celtic, Arabic water stream. Coming from a variation of the Latin word matrix. Trump declares that on March 13. Now, October 28th of this past year to this coming March 13th is 137 days. Forward through the gate, he's saying. And what I will contend is that there's two gateways. There's two gates. From and including, and what you have to look at is March 13th is 13 days through the gate. March 11th, 11 days. Well, if you go 11 and 13 days through the gate the other way, you got October 28th, 29th, 30th. But you don't count those days, do you? Yeah, it's 10 days through and 12 days through. So let's go 10 days through. 29th, 30, 31, November 1st, November 2nd, November 3rd, November 4th, November 5th, November 6th, November 7th. If Trump were to go down on November 7th, he would rise up through the full moon 2 days later on 9/11 or 11/9. That's a full moon. So if nothing goes down on October 2nd, we then, because of both gateways, we then have to look at 11:7, which is the Bible verse for the beast rising out of the pit. Best guesstimate, right? Because those portal back to 3. Well, let's just look at the transfer portal. Trying to figure out what it is I'm trying to do. So let's go through 60 days. You get March 11th. Okay, we landed right on it. Let's go back 60 days. It's not what I thought it was, is it? It's 11/11. Well, I'm glad I did this math. So now we're going to do 62 days. There's November 9th, the full moon. That portals over to the 13th. So the full moon on 9/11 portals over to March 13th. That's good enough. So he would go down. Yeah, it's because I was going backwards through the portal. That's why. I wasn't looking at it properly. If he was to go down on November 7th, that portals over to the Ides of March, if I'm not mistaken. You add it back through March 15th. March 15th is the Ides of March. Ides of March this year are Tuesday, March 15th. Okay. Clear my throat. I'm not stopping any timer. And you know, the two biggest things, what is the Ides of March? The two biggest things Trump ever did was tell us that we're, going to cover the face and not go outside, or declare what he declared. Let's just say that. Make that declaration on the 13th and announce that he had the illness. Those are like the two biggest things. Now, if one was really portaling over to the abomination of desolation, and that's all that's about, then the other will be about his death, which would put it at quite possibly November 7th, because 2 days later is a full moon, which is when he would ascend. And portals to the 13th. Yep. Yep. And look what time it is. 11/7. And when I said it, it had the 718 combo. Porsche 911, Porsche 718. So either way, we're looking at this year, aren't we? Well, I'd imagine. Something to think about, though. Because when you look at Earl's, the number 2 times God, God, 7154, you get the 14308. And I've explained that to, the 14 Trey or I love you, in their world, but always the 1, 4, and I'm the 3rd. That's my name, Trey. And the 08, well, that's just Candy's marriage number, I guess, but that's what 2, Earl's number, times God came to. And when you times that by me, 7 times 6 times 1961, 82362, you do get the 11/7. So I don't know. I don't know. What you're looking at is like two. Yeah, I don't know. I think y'all can absorb everything. I don't think I have to explain it to you any further than that. So the Ides of March. And then when you go back 60 days, that's the March 11th date that affected the whole world from, or something going on outside of our nation. That's when the, our nation declared it 2 days later, but, from a world perspective. So the world perspective would be on November 11th. So that would mean he would go down on the 7th. He would rise on the 9th. And 2 days later, the whole world's in a state of emergency, which that goes in order. Wow, that's fascinating, isn't it? So you got Revelation 11:9 is the beast rising from the bottomless pit. That's when he would rise. He would go down on the 7th. He would rise on the 9th, that's when the full moon is. November 9th. Jesus ascended 42 days from his death. If Trump ascended, he would have had to have died. He would have to die on a Wednesday. Funeral on a Monday. Happens on a Wednesday, funeral on a Monday. September 28th. Because Jesus spent 40 days after he rose. He rose on the 3rd day. So Trump would go down on the 28th. Then there's the 29th, the 3rd day is the 30th. Well, September 28th would be certainly be, yeah, I don't know, man. Got 3 dates we're looking at. September 28th, October 2nd, November 7th. Let's keep going with AWTR. Hang on a second. Let me get rid of this. The full moon is November 8th. 11 times 8 is 88. I don't know what I'm thinking. So it'll be September 27th. Remember I told you that's when I started going with the high school sweetheart, because we ended the relationship the following year, 1 month, 1 day later. That landed on Candy's birthday. So that would put him going down on until Tuesday, September 27th. And then he would ascend on the full moon on 11/8. Well, why not make it 11/7, which would put him going down on my grandson's birthday of September 26th. Why do you like him Well, the beast ascending out of the bottomless pit is Revelation 11:7. It's my grandson's birthday that he would go down on. That's fascinating. And then he would ascend from the bottomless pit at the full moon, where you're like, well, the full moon's the following day. Let's take a look at it. It's the frost moon, also known as the beaver moon and the snow moon. In an ipeck goat, there was snow. Now the moon goes full at 6:02 a.m. on November 8th. 11 times 8 is 88. So to really time it out, you know, but that full moon is at 6:02 in the morning. So that's still a big fat moon on 11/7. So I just, that's a tough one, isn't it? That's tough stuff, man. Boy, this is going to be a long video. So he then said, AWTR in a video, largest arch in the world is the Gateway Arch, resides in the 314 area code. Well, that's pi, and pi is a big deal. We have to look at what pi portals back to. Okay, let's go. We gotta get the transfer portal set again. So pi is 63 days through the portal and would portal back to November 8th, 11/8. Is that son of a gun going down late September? Wow. It's fascinating, isn't it? Yeah, if he was to go through on the third day, November 6th, if he's go down November 6th and rise through on November 8th full moon, okay? Then that portals over to March 16th, also known as 316, also known as John 316. So I don't know. Here's your 137 for AWTR. Loves that number. We ever finish this video? I don't think we did we? Or did we? Let me get that going again. Make sure that we finish that. You sure opened up a can of worms with me tonight. So the 137 days. Oh, that's what it was. That made me start looking at March 13th and stuff. So you get June 14th, Trump's birthday, 137 days. So Trump's birthday to Candy. Trump's Candy Man, I'm Candy Man. 137 days apart. Flag Day, It's saying 47 and 90 degrees, 137. I didn't understand this. The geographic center of the United States. Okay, is that longitude plus the latitude? Okay. Got it. I think that's what he means. Washington DC comes 137, and Anthony Fauci comes 137. Okay, now we finished the video. There we go. We'll give him a thumbs up on this channel too. You know what I'm saying? So that whole pie thing, you know, that's pi 314. The portal's back to the full moon on the year of the tiger, and that's that movie Pi. I don't know. I mean, everything's about this transfer portal when you get into stuff like that. Sorry, I didn't narrow up. AWTR said, Jubilon, alleged Lord of May sons, is composed of two words, Ja-Bulon, for October 10. J-A-H, Bulon. J-A-H, Bulon. Get rid of that. Jabalon ritual. It's rituals of the Royal Arch. Masonry. Is that Jachin and Boaz? Just another way to say it? A Royal Arch degree. Okay. Just keep rolling. AWTR, wow, didn't catch that. 207 was the final in the series of the earthquakes for the 207. That Trump's name comes 207 when you add them together. That's Donald Trump, 207. And the author of this article has the dawn in her name. I like it. Good stuff. I call it the archway. It begins. This just tells me I wanted to go over that with y'all, and I did. Hang on just a second. Let me see what this is. I know what it was. The archway begins on October 28th, Candy's birthday. You can tell that I voice texted this because I'm laying on the couch. Or March 1st. That's when the archway begins in either direction. And of course, the St. Louis archway begins on October 28th. October 2nd is 26 days before the archway opens. Now we go to the other archway 26 days before, and that's February 3rd. And February 3rd portals back to December 17th, which is when I got hit in the right eye by the paper airplane. There you go. So by using the transfer portal and the archway, and when I got hit in the right eye by an airplane on December 17th. That tells you Trump's going down on October 2nd. So that was pretty freaky. J and B would be good to gematria. JB, the pillars, Jachin and Boaz. Yeah, Joaquin or Joaquin and Boaz, that'd be something good to gematria. And I'll move that over to my gematria to-do folder. What else did I think of to do today? There was something else I thought of. Ian Fleming's father's name was Valentine. Already did that. There was something else I thought the gematria that would be really good. Oh, Boots on the Ground. Now I'm watching this movie 88 Minutes with Al Pacino. And so we're watching this movie 88 Minutes, and there's, you know whose birthday? Candy's birthday, second wife's birthday, 10/28. And when you look, October 2022 calendar, these pictures should match. Gosh, money penny. So you look at the 18th and it lands on a Tuesday. See that? Well, it says 10/18 Tuesday. So in the movie 88 Minutes, they're giving you the October 2022 overlay or the Donnie Darko overlay of 1988. And they're giving you the Archway number. Now they gave you all kind of numbers. We're going to get into that in a second. Might be time now to get into some of this. My Spin City video, oh, that was big. By the way, y'all don't watch, this only had 4 views. Y'all aren't watching, y'all aren't subscribed to Telling Truth 3. Y'all aren't watching these videos. I want y'all to look at this. I slowed down one of the, well, I'll probably talk in the video. I don't need to explain it. Let's just.
All right, well, 88 minutes, and we're looking at
Al Pacino,
October 2nd, 201.
event 201.
201 days, and this is Al Pacino's 88 minutes.
October 2.
4K, I
event
cannot frame by
201.
frame for some reason, but on Blu-ray you can. So I go back 1 frame,
There's 9/11,
and I go forward 1
9/11.
frame.
and there's 10/2.
Now the next frame, 20 seconds more.
I didn't even pick up on that earlier.
So I go back 1 frame.
It's telling you 9/11 and you frame forward on the next frame.
And I go forward 1 frame.
Unless he's going down October 22nd. That's telling me October 2nd, 201, event 201, and it's 201 days. Right? Come on, man.
Now the next frame, 22nd.
Okay. Just looking at February 20. October 2nd is February 20.
It's more.
Next frame. And this happens real fast in the movie. That's February 28th. October 2nd is actually February 28th.
8 seconds more.
Nothing much there
7 seconds more.
other than October 22nd.
Now I'm going to go ahead and run it in regular motion, but that's giving you October 2nd for event 201.
Let me rewind it a little bit for you.
Let's compare it to John Force.
See how quick that
See
happened?
how fast all that took place?
Put the ground.
You getting that, right? I mean, that's how fast.
See how fast all that took place? All that took place that quickly.
That 102-201 for event 201 on October 2nd, that's big. That's got my mind right. I'm right back where I'm right back where I needed to be, man. All about October 2nd. Right? It's funny. Now, one thing I didn't pick up on until I did it again.
Just in case we weren't clear about the 88 minutes.
So it's 88 minutes with Al Pacino, who is the devil's advocate. Devil. Keanu Reeves was the devil's advocate. And Al Pacino's in a movie called 88 Minutes. And that clock, they're giving you October 2nd and April 20th at the same time. Fused with my favorite number 24 that fuses both of them. That's insane. They're telling you the event 201 begins on that day because you did have a 201. I went ahead and framed it all the way through and ran into that.
I just showed you the 102 and the 201. Now look at the 102 and the 420. Press frame forward just one time.
So it
So
jumps
you
a
see how
lot.
it skips around,
So you know these are on purpose.
and they're giving you October 2nd and April 20th.
I mean, they're not showing you that for nothing, but boy did that go by quickly, right? And then I showed you the other. Okay, so we're good to go here. Let's keep going. They give you 650 with 500. Now, what is 650? 650 days from the Great Conjunction to October 2nd. Coupled, fused with 500 for Antichrist. $56 minutes, tick-tock, tick-tock, Super Bowl 56. Here's more October 2nd coding in the movie. He's walking by a clock, just like there was a clock, you know, in Scarface that we saw, the 303. It was an 11:02. Well, there's a 10:2 in there. Straight up. Can't make it up. Wouldn't lie to you. Let's check Michael. Did he send us anything? You know, Michael's baby might be born. If so, congratulations, my friend. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. If so, congratulations. We are very happy for you. Didn't mean to waste y'all's time tonight looking at other dates. My apologies. It just shows you how we look outside the box, and we basically look at everything if called to it. You know, we all got to go with what we're called to do. Holy Spirit pops things in our heads all the time, all of us. AWTR, Jamie, you know, Michael, me, boom. Stuff popping in all the time, man. Justin sent us something good not too far back, so y'all know how we roll here. We roll here because that's how we roll here, because we like to roll here. I'm just kidding. Love y'all very much.